Now, New South Wales Premier today came out and said they will not be following the model which has been put in place by the ACT that we told you about last night when it came to decriminalising possession of drugs. Remember, Queensland is now going to have more liberal drug legislation than New South Wales. Here is the New South Wales Premier yabbering about it this morning.
We've got no plans to decriminalise illicit drugs in New South Wales. There's no mandate for that. We didn't run to the election with it. The consequences are serious and we're not announcing that.
Let me come at this from a different way, though. Last night, Steve, I mentioned in my editorial in Charters Towers that the Health Minister in the ACT has actually sort of said the quiet part out loud, which was we never really trumpeted we wanted to do this. Instead, we basically hid behind a private members bill that everyone got behind, and then bang, something that would have been contentious at an election, suddenly was able to become law. Now, this has long been the way that you've had governments trying to sometimes deal with things like euthanasia for about 10 years, and then governments took it on as policy, as stated policy from Andrews all the way around the country, and it's now been put in place. I support that policy. But what I don't support is things like decriminalisation of drugs in places like Queensland, where you're also up against a youth crime epidemic, and simultaneously the same governments then turn around and want to lift the age of criminal responsibility. But it's an insight into the way that the game's going to be played. What do you say about Chris Minns saying, nah, bugger, you knock this off. Even with legalised cannabis in the upper house, we're not doing this.
Well, the problem Christopher Minns has is a problem of geography. I mean, Canberra's an island in New South Wales.
Yeah, good point.
And if you're going to decriminalise ice and heroin and cocaine and marijuana, the cars driving in and out of Queanbeyan have got New South Wales number plates on them. So he can do that all he likes. There's going to be drug trains going to Canberra on the weekend so that everyone can load up on their ice pipes. I mean, seriously, he's living in la-la land if he does not think this is going to spread into New South Wales. What's he going to do? Put up a Trump-like fence around the ACT to stop the drugs coming out again?
Oh,
I mean, he can't control it.
And
the
ACT is the most. Pay for it. I love this. We're going to build a wall and make Gangaran pay for it. That'll be the way they'll go. Fishwick can pay for it. But you know what?
Off to be a real bubble, just floating.
Correct. But what I also love here, right, is that again, the world that is so confusing, right, that you've got the push on from health experts, all the rest of it, at the state and territory level, smoking bad, not allowable anywhere, right? Like virtually criminalised, right? But heroin, ice, all the rest of it, and then the legalising of marijuana. And then don't forget, this is the same place that has now decriminalised the use of heroin, but says no to fireworks.
Well, don't forget, don't forget, Paul, our mate Nick Rees here wants to have another heroin injecting facility in the city of Melbourne.
I'm working up to you, Nicholas. We'll get to that in a second.
It's a $100 fine now if you are in possession of, a amount of ice or heroin. We're talking about some of the most deadly, violent drugs that are not just dangerous for the people who take them and very dangerous, but anyone who can come into their paths.
But Caroline, if you're approaching the heroin injecting facility that Nick wants to establish in the Melbourne CBD, the police can't stop you and ask you what drugs you've got on you because you're going to a health facility.
Yeah, but Nicholas, tell me, in the second heroin injecting centre, which would be exactly the same as the first, can I light up a cigar in there, or is smoking not allowed?
Look, I don't think there's any plan to change the smoking laws in.
So I can shoot up,
Paul,
but I can't smoke.
I will concede to Pricey's point about Canberra being an island. I mean, certainly when I was a kid, I remember mates would go up to Canberra and come back with a bootload full of fireworks and porn videos. So
porn videos.
I can easily see that.
Porn.
It'll be hard to contain this to the ACT.
I've never seen one in my life.
I mean, look.
I don't even know where Fishwick is.
There, but look, the truth is, drug policy has been an abject failure in this country.
He's dodging your question, Paul.
There is a strong argument to be made. There is a strong argument. Come on, Caroline, let me finish. There's a strong argument for us trying things differently. And the beauty of Australia with our states and territories is that they are laboratories of democracy. So ACT is
just
trying
not on
something
taxes.
different. Let's see if it works.
Where
If it does work, other states will.
Where are you putting the injecting room, Nick?
We won't.
Where's it going?
Contain the failure to the ACT. So let's just keep an open mind and see what happens.
Does your council support a second injecting room, and where's it going to go?
Well, so the City of Melbourne has voted to say we support a safe injecting service in our municipality because we think what's happening around heroin injecting at the moment is not working. And by doing a safe injecting room, we can save lives. In terms of the location, that is yet to be decided.
What?
I'll just put it next to the
government
aquarium.
bought a building in Flinders Street. Everyone said no, they don't want to do that. All right. And then you said you'd set it up in the Salvation Army depot opposite the Florentino restaurant in Burke Street.
The last one
all
for
the restaurateurs
everyone.
went nuts.
Now, come on, Pricey. I'm not going to be verbal. That was absolutely not a proposal of the City of Melbourne, for the record.
Last one for everyone, and now you all have to declare whether you're in the Chairman's Lounge or not.
Say it's been